Which plant did Austrian monk and scientist Gregor Johann Mendel use for his foundational studies and experiments on genetics and heredity? P. Gregor Mendel, often regarded as the father of modern genetics, conducted his seminal experiments on pea plants, Pisum sativum, in the 19th century. His research unveiled fundamental laws of inheritance, including dominant and recessive traits, thereby establishing the basis for genetic science. In the British honours system, what is the female equivalent for a man who is made a knight, i.e., becomes Sir? Dame. The British honours system recognizes individuals for outstanding achievements and public service. While a man bestowed with the honor is knighted and addressed as Sir, a woman receiving the equivalent distinction is made a dame, and formally addressed as Dame. What is the commonly used term for the subtle form of advertising by which brands are featured in films and TV programs? Product placement. Product placement is a marketing strategy where branded products or services are subtly integrated into media content such as films, television shows, and video games. This method allows brands to gain exposure and influence consumer perception without overt advertising interruptions, aiming for a more natural and less intrusive promotion. Seen around the world on marked police cars, what is the distinctive checkered pattern named after the Glasgow police chief who first introduced it in 1932? Stiletto tartan. The stiletto tartan is a distinctive checkered pattern, typically black and white or blue and white, adopted for high visibility markings on emergency service vehicles and uniforms. It was named after Sir Percy Stiletto, who, as Chief Constable of Glasgow in 1932, introduced it to make police vehicles more easily identifiable and conspicuous. Which tropical fish, named after an iconic four-legged beast, has the ability to regenerate its fins, skin and heart? Zebrafish. The zebrafish, Danio ririo, is a small tropical freshwater fish widely employed as a model organism in scientific research due to its rapid development, transparent embryos, and genetic tractability. It possesses remarkable regenerative capabilities, including the ability to regrow damaged fins, skin, and even complex organs like the heart and spinal cord. The defense minister of which European country resigned in 2011, after he was found to have copied large parts of his 2006 university doctorate thesis? Germany. Karl Theodor zu Guttenberg, Germany's defense minister, resigned in 2011 following a major plagiarism scandal. He was accused of copying substantial portions of his 2006 doctoral dissertation without proper attribution, leading to the revocation of his doctorate degree and a significant political controversy. What 1790 poem by Robert Burns inspired the naming of a hat, and also indirectly the tea clipper Cutty Sark? Tam O Shanta. Tam O Shanta is a narrative poem written by Robert Burns in 1790, considered one of his most celebrated works. The poem's titular character, Tam, wears a distinctive woolen bonnet, which subsequently gave its name to a type of hat. The famous tea clipper Cutty Sark was also named after the character Nanny D, a young witch in the poem known for wearing a Cutty Sark, a short undershirt. Born in 1678, which Italian composer of choral works, over 40 operas, and notably the Four Seasons violin concertos, was known as the Red Priest because of his auburn hair? Antonio Vivaldi. Antonio Vivaldi, 1678–1741, was a prominent Italian Baroque composer, virtuoso violinist, and Roman Catholic priest. He is best known for his instrumental concertos, especially the series of violin concertos known as the Four Seasons, and composed numerous operas and sacred choral works. His distinctive auburn hair led to his nickname, the Red Priest. Which Indian city, second largest in Rajasthan, stayed behind capital Jaipur, after which styles of trousers and boots were named in the late 1800s, is known as Sun City and the Blue City? Jodhpur. Jodhpur, the second largest city in the Indian state of Rajasthan, is popularly known as the Sun City due to its bright, sunny weather, and the Blue City because of the widespread indigo-colored houses in its old town. The city also lent its name to jodhpurs, a style of riding breeches and boots developed in the late 19th century for polo players, which later gained international fashion appeal. English cartoon character John Bull was provided with a sister called Peg by creator Dr. John Arbuthnot, representing which country of Great Britain? Scotland. John Bull is a national personification of Great Britain, typically depicted as a stout, patriotic, and jovial countryman, first popularized by Dr. John Arbuthnot in 1712. Arbuthnot also created a sister character for John Bull named Peg, who was intended to personify Scotland. These figures were used in political satires to represent national characteristics and relationships within Great Britain. Two former Argentinian military leaders went on trial in February 2011, accused of stealing what from political prisoners? Babies. In February 2011, former Argentinian military leaders, including ex-dictator Jorge Rafael Videla, went on trial accused of systematically stealing babies from political prisoners during the 1976 to 1983 military dictatorship. This horrific practice involved snatching infants from their mothers, many of whom were later disappeared, and illegally adopting them to families loyal to the regime. What does the Latin phrase, vox populi, translate to in English? Voice of the people. The Latin phrase, vox populi, literally means, voice of the people. It is commonly used to refer to the popular opinion or sentiment of the general public, often influencing political decisions or public discourse. Named after chairs found at the Bargello Palace in Florence, Italy, what type of handicraft is Bargello? Embroidery. Bargello embroidery, also known as Florentine work, is a type of needlepoint consisting of upright stitches laid in a pattern to create a distinctive wavy or flame-like effect. It is traditionally associated with the Bargello Palace in Florence, Italy, where chairs embroidered with this style were found. The North African social uprisings of 2010-11 caused the successive departure of leaders Zine El Abidine Ben Ali and Mohammad Ghanouchi from which country? Tunisia. The uprisings of 2010-11, famously known as the Arab Spring, began in Tunisia with widespread protests against government corruption and repression. This led to the overthrow of President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali and the resignation of Prime Minister Mohammad Ghanouchi, inspiring similar movements across North Africa and the Middle East. What religious term, originally referring to the most educated and literate officials and leaders within the church, evolved into a workplace title nowadays positioned at the other end of an organizational hierarchy? Clergy. The term, clergy, historically referred to the body of ordained ministers in a Christian church, who were typically among the most educated members of society. Over time, its usage has evolved in secular contexts, with clerk now often referring to an administrative or record-keeping role, usually at a lower hierarchical level in modern organizations. In which city was scientist Marie Curie born, whose residents are known as Warsawians? Warsaw. Marie Sklodowska Curie, a pioneering physicist and chemist, was born in Warsaw, Poland. She is renowned for her groundbreaking research on radioactivity and was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, the first person and only woman to win the Nobel Prize twice, and the only person to win the Nobel Prize in two different scientific fields. Aviator and explorer Richard Byrd is said to have been the first person to reach where by air, in 1929? The South Pole. Admiral Richard E. Byrd was an American naval officer and polar explorer. He claimed to have made the first flight over the South Pole on November 29, 1929, an achievement that cemented his legacy as a significant figure in polar exploration. Which planet in our solar system is almost twice as far away from the Sun as Jupiter? Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and is distinguished by its prominent ring system. It orbits the Sun at an average distance of about 9.5 astronomical units, which is approximately double the average orbital distance of Jupiter, the fifth planet from the Sun. What is Uganda's staple crop, of which each adult consumes over 3 times their body weight annually? Bananas. Bananas, particularly plantains, matuk, are a critical staple crop in Uganda, forming a cornerstone of the national diet and economy. The high annual consumption reflects their central role in food security and cultural practices across the country. The mummified ancient man, believed to have been killed by an arrow 5,300 years ago, is known as the Iceman. What is his name? Otzi. Otzi, also known as the Iceman, is a well-preserved natural mummy of a man from about 3300 BCE, Copper Age. His discovery in the Otstel Alps in 1991 provides invaluable insights into European Chalcolithic life, including tools, clothing, and dietary habits. What is 100 degrees Celsius equivalent to in Fahrenheit? 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The conversion formula from Celsius to Fahrenheit is C times 9/5 plus 32 equals F. Thus, 100 degrees Celsius, which is the boiling point of water at standard atmospheric pressure, converts to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Which former president of a European country was charged in 2011 with misusing public funds during his tenure as mayor of his nation's capital? Jacques Chirac. Jacques Chirac, former president of France, was found guilty in 2011 of misusing public funds and breach of trust regarding fictitious jobs created at Paris City Hall while he was mayor. This case highlighted issues of political accountability at the highest levels of French government. Which renowned British crime writer assisted in the cleaning and preservation of thousands of 3,000-year-old carved ivory pieces discovered in the Assyrian capital of Nimrud, during excavations led by her husband Sir Max Mallowan between 1949 and 1963? Dame Agatha Christie. Dame Agatha Christie, famous for her detective novels, was deeply involved in archaeological excavations alongside her second husband, Sir Max Mallowan. Her experiences at sites like Nimrud, in modern-day Iraq, not only contributed to her personal life but also inspired elements in some of her Middle Eastern set stories. In which European city is the headquarters of the European Central Bank located? Frankfurt. The European Central Bank, ECB, is the central bank of the 19 European Union countries which have adopted the euro. Its main objective is to maintain price stability in the euro area, and its headquarters are situated in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. Which major Jewish holiday is also referred to as the Day of Atonement? Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year in Judaism. It is observed with a 25-hour fast and intensive prayer, dedicated to repentance, reflection, and seeking forgiveness for one's sins against God. The Tinikling, a traditional folk dance involving bamboo poles, is a principal national dance of which Southeast Asian island nation? The Philippines. Tinikling is a traditional Philippine folk dance named after the tickling bird, known for its graceful movements. Dancers move between and over clicking bamboo poles, mimicking the bird's agility, and it is widely recognized as one of the national dances of the Philippines, often performed at cultural events. The Halle Orchestra, named after its Anglo-German founder Karl Halle, is based in which city? Manchester. The Halle Orchestra, founded in 1858 by Sir Charles Halle, is one of the oldest professional orchestras in the world. It is based in Manchester, England, and is renowned for its contributions to classical music and cultural heritage. What 1986 disaster caused widespread pollution across Europe due to the radioactive isotope cesium-137, which required long-term monitoring of livestock in affected areas, including parts of the UK? Chernobyl. The Chernobyl disaster in 1986 was a catastrophic nuclear accident that released significant amounts of radioactive material, including cesium-137, into the atmosphere. Its long-term environmental impact necessitated ongoing monitoring and safety measures for decades in various European regions. The Scoville scale is used to measure the heat of what? Chili peppers. The Scoville scale, developed by Wilbur Scoville in 1912, measures the pungency or heat of chili peppers. It quantifies the concentration of capsaicinoids, the chemical compounds responsible for the spicy sensation. Eutrophication is the addition of natural or artificial nutrients to what, causing excessive plant growth? Water. Eutrophication is an environmental process characterized by the enrichment of water bodies with nutrients, primarily nitrogen and phosphorus. This leads to an overgrowth of aquatic plants and algae, which can deplete oxygen levels and harm aquatic life. Alberto Granado, who died in 2011 aged 88, was whose motorcycle companion in the 1950s? Che Guevara. Alberto Granado was an Argentine biochemist, writer, and physician, best known as the companion of Che Guevara during their 1952 motorcycle journey across South America. This journey significantly influenced Guevara's political awakening and is famously depicted in The Motorcycle Diaries. Which is the only Portuguese-speaking country in the Americas? Brazil. Brazil is the largest country in South America and the only nation in the Americas where Portuguese is the official language. This linguistic distinction is a direct result of its colonization by Portugal, unlike most other Latin American countries colonized by Spain. Derived from Latin meaning, ship, referring to maritime or direction, what is the central part of a church building called, extending from the entrance to the chancel? Nave. The nave is the principal and central part of a church, extending from the entrance, or narthex, to the chancel. Its name, derived from the Latin, navis, meaning ship, is often associated with the inverted keel of a ship, symbolizing the church as a vessel carrying the faithful. Which U.S. president, in office from 1945 to 1953, is credited with coining the phrase, "If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen"? Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman, the 33rd President of the United States, is widely associated with this famous idiom, though its exact origin is debated. The phrase encapsulates the idea that individuals in positions of responsibility must be prepared to handle pressure and criticism inherent in their roles, or step aside. The cardinal points refer to the 4 main points on what navigational instrument? Compass. Cardinal points are the 4 principal directions on a compass: north, south, east, and west. These fundamental points are crucial for navigation, mapping, and establishing geographical orientation, forming the basis for understanding directionality. Butter, a ritualistic and emotionally intense dance form characterized by extreme movement and stillness, originates from which country? Japan. Butter is a distinctive form of Japanese avant-garde dance and performance art that emerged post-World War II, in the late 1950s and early 1960s. It is known for its often stark, grotesque, and dreamlike imagery, challenging traditional aesthetics and delving into themes of life, death, and human nature. The law of large numbers is a principle in probability theory that helps explain phenomena often considered inexplicable, such as what? Coincidences. The law of large numbers is a fundamental theorem of probability stating that as the number of trials or observations increases, the average of the results obtained from a large number of trials should be close to the expected value and tends to become closer as more trials are performed. While it doesn't diminish the surprise of individual events, it demonstrates that seemingly improbable coincidences become statistically more likely given a sufficiently large sample space or number of opportunities. What substance, derived from petroleum and used for road surfacing, has a name originating from Greek? Asphalt. Asphalt, also known as bitumen, is a viscous, black, and highly adhesive form of petroleum. It is primarily utilized as a binding agent in road construction to create asphalt concrete, renowned for its waterproofing and durable qualities. The term, asphalt, itself has roots in ancient Greek, often associated with concepts of securing or making firm. The significant American Springtime Festival of Film, Music, and Technology, South by Southwest, is annually held in which city? Austin, Texas. South by Southwest is an annual conglomerate of festivals and conferences that celebrate the convergence of interactive media, film, and music. Held every March in Austin, Texas, it serves as a prominent global platform for innovation, emerging talent, and creative industries. Cheese is believed to help combat tooth erosion primarily because it contains what type of substance? Alkali. Cheese helps combat tooth erosion due to its alkaline properties, which neutralize the acids produced by oral bacteria after consuming food. Additionally, cheese stimulates saliva production, which further aids in washing away food particles and buffering acidity, and provides calcium and phosphate beneficial for remineralizing tooth enamel. Who composed the opera Aida? Giuseppe Verdi. Giuseppe Verdi was a renowned Italian romantic composer. Aida, an opera in 4 acts, is one of his most celebrated works, known for its grand scale, dramatic score, and iconic, triumphal march. Who was the US soldier arrested and imprisoned in 2010 in relation to WikiLeaks' publication of secret US defense documents, sparking humanitarian protests? Bradley Manning. Chelsea Manning, formerly Bradley Manning, was a U.S. Army intelligence analyst convicted in 2013 for leaking hundreds of thousands of classified documents to WikiLeaks. Her case highlighted critical issues surrounding government transparency, whistleblowing, and national security in the digital age. Printer paper typically graded at 90/100 refers to 90/100 of what unit? GSM. GSM stands for grams per square meter, a standard metric used to measure the density or thickness of paper. A higher GSM value indicates a heavier and often more durable paper, commonly used for printing and various paper products. Mixing blue, red, and green light produces what color? White. This phenomenon demonstrates additive color mixing, which is fundamental to the study of light in physics. Red, green, and blue, RGB, are considered the primary colors of light, and when combined in equal proportions, they form white light. What nation ended conscription to its Bundeswehr in 2011? Germany. Germany suspended compulsory military service, conscription, for its Bundeswehr in 2011, transitioning to a professional volunteer army. This decision marked a significant reform in its defense policy, aligning with trends in many other European nations post-Cold War. Recep Tayyip Erdogan became Prime Minister of which country, often described as connecting Europe and Asia, in 2003? Turkey. Recep Tayyip Erdogan became Prime Minister of Turkey in 2003, serving in that role until 2014, when he was elected president. Turkey's unique geopolitical position at the crossroads of Europe and Asia has historically made it a significant player in regional and global affairs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was elected president in 2005 of which West African country, bordered by Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Côte d'Ivoire. Liberia. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was elected President of Liberia in 2005, making her the first elected female head of state in Africa. Her presidency was crucial for rebuilding the nation after years of civil war, and she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 for her efforts. What major city, whose name is derived from a month, is renowned for hosting one of the world's largest street carnivals? Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, hosts the iconic Rio Carnival, a world-famous festival held before Lent each year. This vibrant event is globally recognized for its elaborate parades, samba schools, and street parties, drawing millions of tourists annually. Iwa Toguri Dekino, accused of wartime propaganda broadcasting for the Japanese during World War II, was better known by what alias? Tokyo Rose. Iwa Toguri Dekino, an American citizen of Japanese descent, was one of several English-speaking female broadcasters who transmitted Japanese propaganda to Allied soldiers in the South Pacific during World War II. She became popularly known as Tokyo Rose, a collective term for these broadcasters. The Hubbard Medal, awarded to notable explorers and scientists including Sir Ernest Shackleton and the Apollo 11 crew, is presented by which prominent organization? National Geographic Society. The Hubbard Medal is the National Geographic Society's highest honor, awarded for distinction in exploration, discovery, and research. Its recipients represent significant achievements in various fields, ranging from polar exploration to space travel, underscoring its prestige in the scientific and exploratory communities. Kandy, a UNESCO World Heritage City, is located on which Asian island nation, historically known for its colonial tea plantations and whose name in Sanskrit signifies, Venerable Island? Sri Lanka. Kandy is a significant city in Sri Lanka, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for the Temple of the Tooth relic. The island nation, formerly known as Ceylon under British colonial rule, is globally renowned for its high-quality tea production. What is ananas? Botanically defined as a multiple fruit consisting of coalesced berries? Pineapple. Ananas is the scientific name for pineapple. It is botanically classified as a multiple fruit, meaning it develops from the fusion of several flowers whose ovaries coalesce into a single, fleshy fruit. This makes it distinct from simple fruits like an apple or aggregate fruits like a raspberry. The D.H. Lawrence novel, The Plumed Serpent, is set in which country, bordered on the southeast by Guatemala, Belize, and the Caribbean Sea? Mexico. Mexico is a North American country known for its rich history and diverse geography. Its borders with Guatemala and Belize to the southeast, alongside its extensive Caribbean Sea coastline, are key geographical features that define its position in Central America. Which publishing firm did Carmen Callal found in 1973, whose name is derived from a word meaning a domineering woman? Virago. Virago Press was founded by Carmen Callal in 1973, primarily to publish books by women and address the historical underrepresentation of female voices in literature. The name, Virago, was chosen to symbolize a strong, courageous, and spirited woman, reclaiming a term that often carried negative connotations. Roman Emperor Claudius was said to have been poisoned by a dish of what? Mushrooms. Emperor Claudius, who ruled the Roman Empire from 41 to 54 AD, is widely believed to have been assassinated. Historical accounts, though varied, frequently suggest that he was poisoned with a dish of mushrooms, with his wife Agrippina the Younger often implicated in the conspiracy. What Russian word, meaning restructuring, was a pivotal political movement in the Soviet Union during the 1980s? Perestroika. Perestroika was a set of political and economic reforms initiated by Mikhail Gorbachev in the Soviet Union during the mid-1980s. Meaning, restructuring, it aimed to modernize the Soviet system and address economic stagnation, but ultimately contributed to the collapse of the USSR. What is an early sacrificial move in chess, usually of a pawn, to gain an advantage, a term which has entered broader language with a similar strategic meaning? Gambit. A gambit in chess is an opening move where a player sacrifices material, typically a pawn, to gain a favorable position, development, or initiative. The term has since entered general lexicon to describe any calculated action or remark, often involving a risk, made to gain an advantage in a strategic situation. In 1901, the artists Vasily Kandinsky, Rolf Nixky, Waldemar Hecker, and Wilhelm Husgen founded the Progressive Phalanx Art Group in which country? Germany. The Phalanx Art Group was established in Munich, Germany, in 1901 by Vasily Kandinsky and his contemporaries. This avant-garde movement aimed to challenge conservative art academies and promote new, more expressive artistic styles, serving as an important precursor to German Expressionism. Which strait, named after a famous Portuguese-Spanish explorer, separates mainland Chile and Tierra del Fuego? Strait of Magellan. The Strait of Magellan is a natural sea passage at the southern tip of South America, located entirely within Chilean territorial waters. It was discovered and first navigated by Ferdinand Magellan in 1520 during the first circumnavigation of the Earth, providing a vital route between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans before the Panama Canal. Cinnabar, with the chemical symbol Hgs and known for its toxicity, is the primary ore of which metal? Mercury. Cinnabar, Hgs, is a bright scarlet mineral and the most common ore for extracting mercury. Mercury, also known as quicksilver, is a heavy, silvery white liquid metal at room temperature, famous for its toxicity and historical use in thermometers and barometers. Which vegetable, belonging to the species Brassica oleracea, includes varieties such as Nevada and Canberra? Cauliflower. Cauliflower is a member of the Brassica oleracea species, which also encompasses other common vegetables like cabbage, broccoli, and kale. The edible part of the cauliflower plant is its dense, white, undeveloped flower head, known as the curd. By which popular name is the narcissus plant also known? Daffodil. Narcissus is a genus of spring perennial plants in the Amaryllidaceae family, widely known by their common name, daffodils. These iconic flowers are native to meadows and woods across southern Europe and North Africa, heralding the arrival of spring with their distinctive blooms. Ganymede is the largest moon of which planet? Jupiter. Ganymede is not only the largest moon orbiting Jupiter but also holds the distinction of being the largest moon in the entire solar system, surpassing even the planet Mercury in size. It is unique among moons for possessing its own internally generated magnetic field. Europe's largest solar power plant is at Sanlúcar-la-Mayor in which country? Spain. Europe's largest solar power plant is located in Sanlúcar-la-Mayor, Spain. This facility, known as Soluca, is a significant example of large-scale renewable energy production, contributing to global efforts in clean energy generation. What UK-based organization is, at 2011, the world's largest insurance market? Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London is a British insurance market where numerous financial syndicates converge to underwrite and accept risk. It originated in the 17th century in Edward Lloyd's coffee house and has evolved into the world's leading specialist insurance market, known for covering unique and complex risks. Podagra is the technical term for which medical condition in humans, often associated with heavy drinking? Gout. Podagra is the specific medical term for an acute attack of gout, typically affecting the big toe joint. Gout is a form of inflammatory arthritis caused by the deposition of uric acid crystals in the joints, often exacerbated by a diet rich in purines and excessive alcohol consumption. Thomas Seymour married the widow of which monarch in 1547, previously his brother-in-law? Henry VIII. In 1547, Thomas Seymour married Catherine Parr, the sixth and last wife of King Henry VIII, who had died earlier that year. Thomas Seymour was the brother of Jane Seymour, Henry VIII's third wife, making him Henry VIII's brother-in-law. A Novocastrian is a native of which English and Australian cities? Newcastle. A Novocastrian is a demonym referring to a native or inhabitant of Newcastle. This term is primarily used for residents of Newcastle upon Tyne in England and Newcastle, New South Wales in Australia, both cities sharing the same root name. The Turbine Hall, which hosts artwork of vast scale, is in which London art gallery? The Tate Modern. The Turbine Hall is the massive central space within the Tate Modern Art Gallery in London. Originally housing the electrical generators of the former Bankside Power Station, it is now famous for hosting large-scale art installations, showcasing contemporary art. In the Netherlands in 1932, Adriaan van Well founded which acronymic international grocery chain business, represented by a fir tree logo? Spar. Spar, founded in the Netherlands in 1932 by Adriaan van Well, is an international chain of hypermarkets and grocery stores. The name is an acronym for Door Eendrichtig Samenwerken Profiteren allen regelmatig, translating to, through joint cooperation everyone profits regularly. What type of creature is a storm petrel? Bird. A storm petrel is a small seabird belonging to the order Procellariiformes, known for its agile flight close to the water's surface. These pelagic birds are typically found in oceanic environments worldwide, feeding on crustaceans and small fish from the sea surface. What is both an ancient twisted metal necklace and a force causing rotation? Torque. Torque has a dual meaning. In physics, it refers to a rotational force that tends to cause an object to rotate about an axis. Historically, a torch, or torque, was a stiff, twisted metal necklace or armlet worn by ancient Celts and other cultures, often as a symbol of status or rank. In which religion do the deities Ganesh, Murugan, and their father Shiva prominently feature? Hinduism. Ganesh, Murugan, Kartike, and Shiva are central deities in Hinduism, one of the oldest religions in the world. Shiva is a principal deity of Shivism, while Ganesh and Murugan are his sons, widely worshipped in various Hindu traditions. What is the more common name for a circle graph, dating back to 1801, which is widely used in business and media for data representation? Pie chart. A pie chart, also known as a circle graph, is a circular statistical graphic divided into sectors to illustrate numerical proportion. William Playfair is credited with its invention in 1801, and it remains a common tool for visualizing data distributions. Who authored the famous poems, If, Gunga Din, Mandalay, and The Female of the Species? Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling, a British novelist, short story writer, poet, and journalist, is celebrated for his works of fiction and poetry. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1907, becoming the first English-language writer to receive the award. Given that the prefix, mega, denotes a million, 10 to the power of 6, what commonly used prefix signifies a millionth, 10 to the power of -6? Micro. Mega and micro are standard prefixes in the International System of Units, (C), used to denote multiples or submultiples of base units. Mega, m, represents 10 to the power of 6, while micro, mu, represents 10 to the power of -6, essential for scientific and engineering measurements. The renowned Bodleian Library is an integral part of which highly regarded university? University of Oxford. The Bodleian Library, one of the oldest libraries in Europe, is the main research library of the University of Oxford. It is a legal deposit library, meaning it is entitled to a copy of every book published in the UK and Ireland. What symbol represents the British Assured Food Standard Scheme, which focuses on food and farm quality? Red Tractor. The Red Tractor Assurance Scheme is a significant food assurance program in the United Kingdom, ensuring food quality and safety across the supply chain. It provides traceability from farm to fork, covering animal welfare, environmental protection, and food safety standards. In April 2011, a 75-year-old Georgian woman, while digging for copper scrap, accidentally severed the internet connection for 5 hours for the entire population of which neighboring nation? Armenia. This incident highlights the vulnerability of critical infrastructure and is a notable event in internet history. The accidental fiber optic cable cut by the woman in Georgia caused a widespread internet outage across Armenia, demonstrating how unforeseen events can disrupt essential services. Kebro, Tabor, Bodhran, and Kajon are various types of which musical instruments? Drums. Kebro, Ethiopian, Tabor, Medieval European, Bodhran, Irish, and Kajon, Peruvian, Spanish, are all distinct types of drums, reflecting the diverse percussive traditions across different cultures. They are fundamental instruments in various musical genres worldwide. Porifera, a phylum meaning paw-bearer, is a marine life form commonly known by what name, which is also strongly associated with its traditional human use? Sponge. Porifera is a phylum of aquatic invertebrate animals, commonly known as sponges. These multicellular organisms are characterized by a porous body and a skeleton made of spicules or spongian fibers, and have been traditionally used by humans for cleaning and bathing due to their absorbent properties. Which country is home to the Vatnajökull Glacier, Europe's largest ice cap by volume, which covers approximately 8% of its land area? Iceland. The Vatnajökull Glacier is the largest ice cap in Europe by volume and the second largest by area, located in southeastern Iceland. It covers roughly 8% of the country's total landmass and is a significant geographical feature, housing numerous volcanoes beneath its ice, contributing to Iceland's unique geothermal landscape. Which foundational ethical oath for medical professionals traditionally begins with the words, "I swear by Apollo the physician"? Hippocratic Oath. The Hippocratic Oath is an ancient Greek ethical oath historically taken by physicians. It requires a new physician to swear by a number of healing gods to uphold specific ethical standards, emphasizing patient welfare, confidentiality, and avoiding harm, thereby forming a cornerstone of medical ethics. In an orchestral setting, which instrument traditionally provides the initial, A, guide note for the ensemble to tune? Oboe. The oboe is conventionally chosen to provide the initial, A, note, A4 equals 440 Hz, for an orchestra to tune before a performance. This is because the oboe has a relatively stable pitch and a clear, penetrating tone that can be easily heard by all musicians across the ensemble. The Rocha system and the Henry classification system are specialized methods used by law enforcement agencies for what purpose? Fingerprinting. The Rocha system and the Henry classification system are historical and foundational methods used in forensic science for the classification and identification of fingerprints. These systems categorize fingerprints based on patterns like loops, whorls, and arches, enabling police to efficiently search and match prints for investigative purposes. The Marble Mountains, locally known as Naguhan San, consist of 5 prominent marble and limestone hills: Kim, Twi, Mok, Hoa, and Do, and are located in which country? Vietnam. The Marble Mountains, or Nagu Han San, are a cluster of 5 limestone and marble hills located in Da Nang, Vietnam. Each mountain is named after one of the 5 elements: metal, water, wood, fire, earth, and the area is a popular tourist destination known for its caves, tunnels, temples, and pagodas. In 1989, the communist government of which Central European country was peacefully overthrown during the series of events known as the Velvet Revolution? Czechoslovakia. The Velvet Revolution was a nonviolent transition of power in Czechoslovakia that occurred from November 17 to December 29, 1989. It led to the peaceful collapse of the communist one-party rule and the establishment of a parliamentary republic, eventually resulting in the dissolution of Czechoslovakia into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. A pellora, a navigational instrument reportedly named after Hannibal's pilot around 200 BC, is typically found on what form of transport? Ship. A pellora is a navigational instrument used on ships to take relative bearings of distant objects, providing information for plotting the vessel's position or determining true bearings when combined with a compass heading. It is essentially a dummy compass card with a sighting device, designed to be mounted and aligned with the ship's fore and aft line. What is a traditional fastener that prevents a wheel from detaching from its axle, and metaphorically refers to a crucial person or part? Linchpin. A linchpin is a crucial component in traditional cart axles, preventing the wheel from detaching. Metaphorically, it refers to a vital person or element that holds an enterprise or system together, without which it would collapse, highlighting its indispensable nature. Native to Mediterranean countries, the ground beans and pod of the carob tree, shrub are used as a substitute for what? Chocolate. Carob is a flowering evergreen shrub native to the Mediterranean region. Its pods are ground into a powder that is widely used as a healthy substitute for cocoa powder or chocolate, especially due to its naturally sweet flavor and lower fat content. Which river flows over the Victoria Falls? Zambezi. Victoria Falls, one of the world's largest and most spectacular waterfalls, is located on the Zambezi River. It forms a natural border between Zambia and Zimbabwe and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, renowned for its immense sheet of falling water. How tall is the Burj Khalifa Tower in Dubai? 828 meters. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, stands at a towering height of 828 meters, 2,717 feet. It holds the record for the world's tallest building since its completion in 2010, dominating the city's skyline. Dr. Harry Couver and Fred Joyner accidentally discovered what popular adhesive while working for Eastman Kodak on a gunsight project in the mid-1900s? Superglue. Superglue, generically known as cyanoacrylate adhesive, was accidentally discovered by Harry Couver in 1942 while he was attempting to make clear plastic gun sights. Its remarkable strong, fast-acting bonding properties were later recognized, leading to its widespread industrial and household applications. The pungent essential oil eugenol comprises about 70 to 90% of the oil from which spice? Cloves. Cloves are the aromatic dried flower buds of a tree in the Myrtaceae family, predominantly cultivated in Indonesia. Their distinctive pungent aroma and flavor are primarily due to eugenol, an essential oil that constitutes a significant percentage of clove oil, providing its characteristic properties. Which tropic divides Mexico into temperate and tropical zones? Tropic of Cancer. The Tropic of Cancer is a major circle of latitude that runs through Mexico, effectively dividing the country into temperate zones to the north and tropical zones to the south. This geographical feature significantly influences Mexico's diverse climates and ecosystems. Which month was named after the Roman god of war? March. The month of March derives its name from Mars, the ancient Roman god of war. In the early Roman calendar, March was the first month of the year and traditionally marked the time when military campaigns resumed after the winter season. Pax is the French term for which religious festival? Easter. Easter is a principal Christian festival celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The term, Pax in French, like Pascha, in other languages, is derived from the Hebrew word, Pesach, referring to Passover, reflecting the historical connection between the two observances. Which country has the internet domain, place? Poland. Place is the country code top-level domain, CCTLD, for Poland. It is managed by NASK, the Research and Academic Computer Network, and is widely used for websites and email addresses associated with individuals and organizations in Poland. Cryptozoology is the study of which type of creatures? Mythical. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience that studies and seeks to prove the existence of cryptids, which are creatures from folklore and mythical reports, such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, or the Yeti. It involves investigating anecdotal evidence and other material that is generally rejected by mainstream zoology. Which vegetable has the Latin name Allium sapa? Onion. Allium sapa is the scientific name for the common onion, a widely cultivated bulb vegetable. It belongs to the Amaryllidaceae family and is known for its pungent flavor, used extensively in cuisines worldwide as a fundamental ingredient. Shamus, noil and shantung are all types of which fabric? Silk. Shamus, noil, and shantung are distinct types of silk fabrics, each characterized by a unique weave and texture. Shamus is known for its soft drape and lustrous sheen, noil has a textured, slightly knobby surface resembling raw cotton, and shantung is a crisp, medium-weight silk with an irregular texture due often to slubs in the yarn. The enzyme pepsin is released by cells in which part of the human body? Stomach. Pepsin is a powerful digestive enzyme released by the chief cells in the stomach lining. It functions optimally in the highly acidic environment of the stomach, where it breaks down proteins into smaller peptides, playing a crucial role in protein digestion. Deriving from, and in part meaning small, what is the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet? Omicron. Omicron is the 15th letter of the Greek alphabet, Omicron, Omicron. Its name literally means, small o micro, to distinguish it from omega, great O, and it is historically significant in various scientific and mathematical contexts, as well as being prominent in modern cultural references. If something is piscivorous, what does it generally feed on? Fish. Piscivorous describes an animal whose diet consists primarily of fish. This term is used in ecology and zoology to categorize organisms based on their feeding habits, with examples including many species of birds, like ospreys, mammals, like otters, and fish themselves. Which is the only country in Southeast Asia never to have been colonized by a European power? Thailand. Thailand, formerly known as Siam, is unique in Southeast Asia for successfully resisting European colonization. It maintained its independence primarily through astute diplomacy and strategic positioning as a buffer state between British and French colonial territories during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Abidjan is the former capital and a major battleground of which civil war-torn nation in 2011? Ivory Coast. Abidjan, though not the current official capital of Ivory Coast, which is Yamoussoukro, remains its economic hub and largest city. It became a significant battleground during the post-election crisis in 2010-2011, highlighting its strategic importance in the nation's political and economic landscape. In relation to the spiritual deity Pachamama, in 2011 Bolivia announced an unusual new law related to what concept? Mother Earth. In 2011, Bolivia enacted the Law of the Rights of Mother Earth, granting nature the same legal rights as humans. This groundbreaking legislation was deeply influenced by the indigenous Andean spiritual belief in Pachamama, or Mother Earth, emphasizing ecological balance and the inherent rights of natural systems. 2011 marked how many years anniversary of the start of the US Civil War? 150. The American Civil War officially began on April 12, 1861, with the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter. Therefore, 2011 marked the 150th anniversary of this pivotal conflict in United States history, which ultimately led to the abolition of slavery and the reunification of the nation. Approximately, how much does a cubic foot of gold weigh? 1,200 pounds. Gold is an exceptionally dense metal, with a specific gravity far higher than most common materials. A cubic foot of pure gold weighs approximately 1,200 pounds, or around 544 kilograms, illustrating its substantial mass for its volume, a characteristic that has contributed to its value and applications throughout history. What British World War I armament had the nicknames Little Willie and Big Willie for its first and second models? Tank. Little Willie and Big Willie were early prototypes of the British tank during World War I. These experimental vehicles were crucial in the development of armored warfare, leading to the deployment of tanks on the battlefield in 1916. Roadhouse is the ironic US Secret Service codename for what famous standard-setting luxury Art Deco hotel at 301 Park Avenue in Manhattan, New York City? Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The Waldorf Astoria Hotel, an iconic Art Deco landmark in New York City, has historically served as a residence for presidents and foreign dignitaries. Its significance in American history and as a symbol of luxury has led to its notable status, even earning a US Secret Service codename. What is the international telephone dialing code for France? 33. International dialing codes are country-specific prefixes used to make calls to other nations. France's international dialing code, 33, is essential for telecommunications and is part of a standardized global system managed by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Name the 1959 instrumental piece by the Dave Brubeck Quartet, arguably the first ever mainstream jazz hit record, whose title referred to its unusual 5/4 time signature. Take 5. Take 5, by the Dave Brubeck Quartet is a landmark jazz composition from 1959, famous for its distinctive 5/4 time signature. It became one of the best-selling jazz singles of all time, significantly popularizing jazz music with its innovative rhythmic structure and memorable saxophone melody. What African capital city is regarded as the largest French-speaking city after Paris? Kinshasa. Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is recognized as the largest French-speaking city globally after Paris. This reflects the colonial legacy of Belgium in the DRC and the widespread use of French in administration, education, and daily life in the city. A muntjac is what type of animal? Deer. A muntjac is a small deer species native to South and Southeast Asia. Also known as barking deer due to the dog-like calls made by the males, they are one of the oldest known deer species, with fossil records dating back 15 to 35 million years. How many centimeters are in a foot, to 2 decimal places? 30.48. The conversion between imperial and metric units is a fundamental concept in mathematics and science. 1 foot is precisely equal to 30.48 centimeters, a standard conversion factor used globally in various scientific, engineering, and everyday applications. What plant and source of starch, used in cooking and medicine, is named after the Arawak word aru aru, meaning meal of meals, and also by association with its use in treating poisoned arrow wounds? Arrowroot. Arrowroot is a starchy rhizome extracted from several tropical plants, primarily Maranta arundinacea. Historically used by indigenous Arawak people for both food and medicinal purposes, including treating poisoned arrow wounds, it is widely utilized today as a thickening agent in cooking and in some pharmaceutical preparations. In what century was the Indian mausoleum the Taj Mahal built? 17th. The Taj Mahal, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was commissioned in 1631 by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Its construction was largely completed by 1653, placing it squarely in the 17th century. Created in 1949 and used by the U.S. Air Force, Sierra Sam was the first what? Crash test dummy. Sierra Sam, developed in 1949 by Samuel W. Alderson for the U.S. Air Force, was the first articulated anthropomorphic test device, commonly known as a crash test dummy. It played a crucial role in early aerospace safety research and paved the way for modern vehicle safety testing. What area in square meters is a hectare? 10,000. A hectare is a unit of area defined as 10,000 square meters, commonly used for measuring land. It is equivalent to 2.47 acres and is widely adopted in forestry, agriculture, and urban planning. What, as a 2011, other, next 11, N11, emerging countries identified by Goldman Sachs as having greatest potential, outside of the previously identified 4, BRIC nations, of becoming some of the world's largest economies in the 21st century? Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Mexico, Nigeria, Pakistan, Philippines, South Korea, Turkey, Vietnam. The next 11, N11, refers to a group of 11 emerging market countries identified by Goldman Sachs in 2005, updated in 2011, as having the potential to become major economies in the 21st century. These nations, including Bangladesh, Mexico, Nigeria, and Turkey, were chosen based on their demographic trends, economic growth, and stability, complementing the earlier BRIC grouping. A solution of magnesium hydroxide in water is better known by what name? Milk of magnesia. A solution of magnesium hydroxide in water is commonly known as milk of magnesia. It is an antacid and laxative, used to relieve heartburn, indigestion, and constipation. Its basic nature helps neutralize stomach acid. What creature's bite causes the clinical syndrome known as letrajectism? Spider. Letrajectism is a severe neurotoxic syndrome caused by the venom of spiders from the genus Letrajectus, commonly known as widow spiders, e.g., black widow. The venom primarily contains alpha-letrotoxin, which affects nerve endings, leading to muscle pain, cramps, and autonomic dysfunction. Conkers are the fruit of which tree species? Horse chestnut. Conkers are the large, shiny brown seeds of the horse chestnut tree, Aesculus hippocasternum. Encased in a spiky green capsule, these seeds are notable for their toxicity to humans and many animals if ingested, due to the presence of saponins and esculin. Who is Goodluck Jonathan? The 14th President of Nigeria. Goodluck Jonathan served as the 14th President of Nigeria from 2010 to 2015. His tenure was marked by efforts to address corruption and the Boko Haram insurgency, and he is internationally recognized for peacefully conceding defeat in the 2015 general election. Noi Bai International Airport serves which Asian capital city? Hanoi. Noi Bai International Airport, Ha, is the largest airport in northern Vietnam and serves the capital city of Hanoi. Located approximately 35 kilometers northeast of downtown Hanoi, it is a key hub for international and domestic air travel to the region. What is the name for a plane figure with 9 straight sides and 9 angles? Nonagon. In geometry, a nonagon is a polygon characterized by having 9 straight sides and 9 interior angles. The sum of the interior angles of any simple nonagon is 1260 degrees, with each angle measuring 140 degrees in a regular nonagon. How many cubic inches are in a cubic foot? 1728. A cubic foot is a unit of volume in the imperial and US customary systems of measurement. Since 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, a cubic foot is calculated as 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches, which equals 1728 cubic inches. This conversion is fundamental in various scientific and engineering applications. Which insect is affected by the Israeli acute paralysis virus, IAPV? B. The Israeli acute paralysis virus, IAPV, is a single-stranded RNA virus that primarily affects honeybees. It is associated with colony collapse disorder, CCD, a phenomenon where worker bees abruptly disappear from a hive. IAPV contributes to weakening bee colonies, posing a significant threat to global agriculture and ecosystems due to bees' crucial role as pollinators. Black, green, and oolong are types of which beverage? Tea. Black, green, and oolong are distinct types of tea, all originating from the Camellia sinensis plant. The difference lies primarily in their processing methods, particularly the level of oxidation. Black tea is fully oxidized, green tea is minimally oxidized, and oolong tea is semi-oxidized, resulting in unique flavors, aromas, and chemical compositions for each variety. Winnie Madikizela was the first name of the ex-wife of which iconic leader? Nelson Mandela. Winnie Madikizela Mandela was a prominent anti-apartheid activist and politician in South Africa, and the former wife of Nelson Mandela. She was a key figure in the struggle against apartheid, enduring imprisonment and banning orders. Her activism and role in the liberation movement are significant parts of modern African history. Which is the only country in the world not required to have its name on its postage stamps? United Kingdom. The United Kingdom holds a unique distinction among countries, as it is not required to display its name on its postage stamps. This privilege stems from its historical role as the first country to issue adhesive postage stamps in 1840, featuring the penny black. The monarch's profile is considered sufficient identification, a tradition maintained by the Universal Postal Union. What is the chemical formula for laughing gas, also known as nitrous oxide? N2O. Nitrous oxide, N2O, is a chemical compound commonly known as laughing gas, due to the euphoric effects it can produce when inhaled. It is used in dentistry and surgery for its anesthetic and analgesic effects. D-nitrogen monoxide is also a potent greenhouse gas and an important component in rocket propellants and internal combustion engines to increase power output. Which chemical element, not found as a free element on Earth, has the atomic number 9 and the symbol F? Fluorine. Fluorine, F, is a highly reactive chemical element with atomic number 9, making it the most electronegative element on the periodic table. Due to its extreme reactivity, it does not occur as a free element in nature but is found in various minerals, most notably fluorite. Fluorine and its compounds are crucial in industries ranging from toothpaste, fluoride, to refrigerants and polymers like Teflon. In which European city is the Nobel Peace Prize awarded annually? Oslo. The Nobel Peace Prize is one of the 5 Nobel Prizes established by the will of Alfred Nobel. Unlike the other Nobel Prizes, which are awarded in Stockholm, Sweden, the Peace Prize is presented annually in Oslo, Norway. It recognizes individuals or organizations who have made outstanding contributions to peace. Which city possesses approximately 520 miles of shoreline? New York. New York City's extensive shoreline, spanning roughly 520 miles, is a significant geographical feature influenced by its many islands, Manhattan, Staten Island, Long Island portions, and numerous bays, rivers, and estuaries. This vast waterfront supports a major port, diverse ecosystems, and extensive recreational areas. What is the meaning of the Latin term, ad astra, frequently used in mottos and slogans? To the stars. Ad astra is a Latin phrase meaning, to the stars. It is widely used as a motto, particularly in contexts related to aviation, space exploration, and aspiration, such as the Royal Air Force's, per ardua ad astra, through adversity to the stars, or NASA's unofficial usage. Which organization, whose name is loosely translated from Arabic as the base or the foundation, was founded in 1988 in Peshawar, Pakistan? Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, an Islamist militant organization, was founded in 1988 by Osama bin Laden, Abdullah Azam, and several others in Peshawar, Pakistan. Its name, derived from Arabic, signifies the base or the foundation, and the group became notorious for its global network and major terrorist attacks, most notably the September 11, 2001 attacks in the United States. The flower-gardened residence of Giverny, in Normandy, France, was home to which Impressionist painter, renowned for his garden pond scenes? Claude Monet. Giverny, a picturesque village in Normandy, France, was the home and inspiration for the influential French Impressionist painter Claude Monet. He lived there from 1883 until his death in 1926, creating some of his most famous works, particularly the Water Lilies series, which depict his meticulously cultivated water garden. What is the collective name for a flock of geese in flight, especially in V formation? Skein. A skein refers specifically to a flock of geese or similar birds in flight, often observed in their characteristic V formation. This formation is energy efficient for the birds, aiding in long-distance migration as each bird benefits from the updraft created by the bird in front. How many petals do buttercup and columbine flowers commonly have? 5. Many flowering plants exhibit radial symmetry, and the number of petals is often a key characteristic for botanical identification. Buttercups, Ranunculus spp, typically have 5 petals, while columbine flowers, Aquilegia spp, also commonly feature 5 petals, though their structure is more complex with distinct spurs. What car corporation owned the Rolls-Royce and Mini Marcus as of 2011? BMW. As of 2011, the German automotive giant BMW, Bayerische Motor and Werke AG, owned both the iconic British luxury car brand Rolls-Royce motor cars and the popular compact car brand Mini. BMW acquired Mini from the Rover Group in 1994 and the rights to the Rolls-Royce brand name in 1998, with new model production starting under BMW ownership in 2003. What large computer software corporation, whose products include Acrobat and Photoshop, is named after a 2000-year-old word meaning mud brick? Adobe. Adobe Inc. is a major American multinational computer software company renowned for its creative and multimedia software products like Photoshop and Acrobat Reader. The company's name, Adobe, originates from the Adobe Creek in Los Altos, California, near where its co-founder John Warnock lived, and it shares its etymology with the 2000-year-old word for mud brick, referring to a natural building material. Which is the only letter in the English alphabet never to appear in the periodic table of chemical elements, as of 2011? J. The periodic table of chemical elements organizes all known chemical elements by their atomic number, electron configuration, and recurring chemical properties. As of 2011, and indeed even with newly discovered elements since, the letter J remains the only letter in the English alphabet that does not appear in any element's symbol or full name. According to the UK Health and Safety Executive, how many UK workers suffered from illness caused or worsened by work in the 2009-10 year? 1.3 million. The UK Health and Safety Executive, HSE, is a government agency responsible for the regulation and enforcement of workplace health, safety, and welfare in Great Britain. Their annual statistics provide crucial insights into occupational health. For the 2009-10 year, it was reported that 1.3 million workers in the UK experienced illnesses caused or exacerbated by their work, highlighting ongoing challenges in occupational health and safety. What large media corporation suffered a serious hacking attack on its popular gaming and entertainment websites in May 2011, compromising personal details of over 100 million users? Sony. In May 2011, Sony Corporation experienced a significant cybersecurity breach affecting its PlayStation Network and other online services. This attack compromised the personal data of over 100 million user accounts, including names, addresses, and credit card details, making it one of the largest data breaches at the time and raising widespread concerns about online security and data privacy. The Imperial War Museum in London was originally based in which building at Sydenham Hill, famously destroyed by fire in 1936? The Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace, originally built for the Great Exhibition of 1851 in Hyde Park, was a magnificent cast iron and plate glass structure. It was later relocated to Sydenham Hill but tragically destroyed by fire in 1936, a significant loss to architectural history and a notable event in British heritage. The UK Millennium Cohort study of 10,000 babies born 2001 found a clear correlation between positive childhood behavior and what? Breastfeeding. The UK Millennium Cohort study is a major longitudinal study tracking the lives of children born around the turn of the millennium. Its findings often inform public health policy and understanding of child development, with various studies indicating long-term benefits associated with early childhood factors like breastfeeding. What is the strait between Sicily and mainland Italy? Messina Strait. The Strait of Messina is a narrow channel connecting the Ionian Sea in the south to the Tyrrhenian Sea in the north, separating Sicily from the southern tip of the Italian mainland. It is known for its strong currents and holds significant historical and mythological importance. The Latin phrase, ecce homo, means behold the what? Man. Ecce homo is a Latin phrase meaning, behold the man. It refers to the words Pontius Pilate uttered when he presented Jesus Christ, crowned with thorns, to the hostile crowd before his crucifixion. The phrase is a common subject in Christian art and theological discourse. Completed in 1985, what City of London banking centre became the subject of opposing demolition and architectural heritage protection efforts in 2011? Broadgate. Broadgate is a large office and retail complex in the City of London, developed in the 1980s as a significant financial district. Its postmodern architecture became a subject of debate in 2011, highlighting the ongoing tension between urban regeneration, modern architectural heritage, and preservation efforts. The Leaf Award, as at 2011, fully the Emirates Glass Leaf Award, is a prize awarded for what? Architecture. The Leaf Awards, leading European architecture forum, recognize innovative architectural design and celebrate excellence in building projects globally. These awards highlight contemporary trends and significant contributions to the field of architecture, promoting best practices and sustainable design. What is the informal term for a bullet with a hollow tip so as to increase spread and damage on impact? Dum-dum. Dum-dum bullets are a type of expanding ammunition characterized by a hollow tip, designed to flatten and expand significantly upon impact. They were developed at the Dum-dum arsenal in India during the late 19th century and are known for causing extensive wounds. The fungal infection dermatophytosis is better known by what misleading name? Ringworm. Dermatophytosis is a common contagious fungal infection affecting the skin, hair, or nails, caused by dermatophytes. It is widely known as ringworm due to the distinctive ring-shaped, red, itchy rash it often produces, despite not involving any actual worms. In geology, particles of weight range from 0.0625 mm to 2 mm. Sand. In geology, sand is defined as a granular material composed of finely divided rock and mineral particles. Its grain size ranges from 0.0625 mm to 2 mm, classifying it as coarser than silt but finer than gravel. An Athenian legislator from 620 BC known for his severity gave rise to what word describing harsh punishment or law? Draconian. Draco was an Athenian legislator in ancient Greece who codified the laws of Athens around 621 BC. His legal code was notoriously severe, often prescribing death for even minor offenses, which led to the term, draconian, being used to describe extremely harsh laws or measures. Madison Avenue is an American term for what industry? Advertising. Madison Avenue is a prominent street in New York City that became historically synonymous with the American advertising industry. For much of the 20th century, many of the leading advertising agencies were headquartered there, establishing its metonymic association with the profession. Which compound, from the bark of the cinchona tree, and used in tonic water, was the first effective drug used to treat malaria? Quinine. Quinine is a natural crystalline alkaloid extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree, indigenous to South America. It was the first effective anti-malarial drug, used for centuries to treat and prevent malaria, and also gives tonic water its distinctive bitter taste. In which country was Osama bin Laden born? Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden was born in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, in 1957. He was the founder of Al-Qaeda, the Sunni Islamist organization responsible for the September 11 attacks and other major acts of terrorism. Which metallic element is refined from cassiterite, tin 4 oxide? Tin. Cassiterite, SNO2, is the most important ore mineral from which the metallic element tin is extracted. Tin is a silvery white, malleable metal with a low melting point, widely used in alloys, coatings, and solder. A cachalot, an old French word for tooth, is better known as what creature, the largest living toothed animal? Sperm whale. The sperm whale, Physeter macrocephalus, also known as cachalot, holds the distinction of being the largest living toothed animal. These marine mammals are renowned for their massive heads, deep diving capabilities, and unique echolocation system. Created by the Hoover Dam, what is the largest man-made lake, reservoir in the US? Lake Mead. Lake Mead is the largest reservoir in the United States by volume when full, located on the Colorado River, about 24 miles east of Las Vegas. It was formed by the construction of the Hoover Dam and provides water to millions of people in the southwestern US. In geometry and mathematics, what is an angle of less than 90 degrees? Acute. In geometry, an acute angle is defined as an angle that measures less than 90 degrees. Angles are fundamental concepts in mathematics, with other types including right angles, exactly 90 degrees, and obtuse angles, greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Where are the Karnak stones, the largest megalithic site of its kind anywhere, containing over 3,000 huge rocks erected by pre-Celtic people c.4000-3300 BC. Brittany. The Karnak stones constitute an extraordinary collection of megalithic alignments located near Karnak in Brittany, France. This prehistoric site features over 3,000 standing stones erected by pre-Celtic communities between 4,000 and 3,300 BC, making it one of the largest such complexes in the world. How many liters, or liters, are in a cubic meter? 1000. A cubic meter, m cubed, is the SI-derived unit of volume, representing the volume of a cube with sides 1 meter in length. It is precisely equivalent to 1000 liters, a crucial conversion factor in science, engineering, and everyday measurements. As at 2011, what 4 countries have the world's largest railway networks? USA, Russia, China, India. As of 2011, the United States, Russia, China, and India collectively held the distinction of possessing the world's largest railway networks. These extensive infrastructures are vital for national economies, facilitating freight transport, passenger travel, and regional connectivity. Which planet, in terms of its orbit, is between Saturn and Neptune? Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun, orbiting directly between Saturn and Neptune in our solar system. It is an ice giant known for its distinct blue-green hue and its unique axial tilt, causing it to effectively rotate on its side. Who is recognized as the founder of psychoanalysis and the author of seminal works such as The Interpretation of Dreams and Beyond the Pleasure Principle? Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud is the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for treating psychopathology through dialogue between a patient and a psychoanalyst. His seminal works, The Interpretation of Dreams, 1899, and Beyond the Pleasure Principle, 1920, laid the groundwork for modern psychological thought. In 1968, the Treaty of Tlatelolco was drafted by the nations of Latin America and the Caribbean to ensure their region remained free of what? Nuclear weapons. The Treaty of Tlatelolco, signed in 1967 and entered into force in 1969, established a nuclear weapon-free zone in Latin America and the Caribbean. This pioneering international agreement aimed at preventing the proliferation of nuclear weapons in the region. The Ha ethnic group, the largest in the world by population, is native to which country? China. The Ha Chinese are the largest ethnic group globally, constituting approximately 18% of the world's population. They are indigenous to China and form the predominant ethnic group, significantly shaping the country's history and culture. Traditionally regarded as the world's largest book publishers' trade show, the City Name Book Fair is held annually each October in Germany. Which city hosts this event? Frankfurt. The Frankfurt Book Fair, held annually in October in Frankfurt, Germany, is widely considered the world's largest trade fair for books. It serves as a crucial international hub for the publishing industry, facilitating the buying and selling of international publishing rights and licenses. In Western Christianity, what is the first day of the Lenten season? Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday marks the first day of Lent in Western Christian churches, a 40-day period of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving in preparation for Easter. It is traditionally observed with special church services where worshippers receive ashes on their foreheads as a symbol of penitence. The traditionally shaped sound holes found in string instruments such as violins and cellos are referred to by what letter of the alphabet? F. The distinctive sound holes found on string instruments like violins, cellos, and violas are commonly known as F holes. Their shape and placement are crucial for the instrument's acoustic properties, allowing sound to project effectively and contributing to the instrument's characteristic tone. What animal normally represents the box of low market share and low market growth in the Boston Matrix, or BSG matrix, or growth share matrix, marketing model? Dog. The Boston Consulting Group (BCG) matrix is a strategic planning tool used to analyze product portfolios, categorizing them into stars, cash cows, question marks, and dogs. Dogs represent products or businesses with low market share in low growth markets, often considered for divestment as they generate low profits or losses. What famous 1945 book includes the first of 7 commandments, "Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy"? Animal Farm. Animal Farm is an allegorical novella by George Orwell, published in 1945. It satirizes totalitarianism, particularly the events leading up to the 1917 Russian Revolution and into the Stalinist era of the Soviet Union. The quoted commandment reflects the initial revolutionary ideals of the animals against their human oppressors, later corrupted by the pigs. What chemical element has the symbol S? Sulfur. Sulfur, or sulfur, is a chemical element with the symbol S and atomic number 16. It is a non-metallic element, abundant in nature, and plays a vital role in biological processes. It is widely used in industries for producing sulfuric acid, fertilizer, and in various chemical compounds. Yandex, in 2011, probably the largest internet company flotation after Google in 2004, was founded and dominates web searching in which country? Russia. Yandex is a Russian multinational technology company specializing in internet-related products and services, including search and information services, e-commerce, and online advertising. Founded in 1997, it is the largest search engine in Russia and a significant player in Eastern European markets. Name the UK state-owned bookmaker, set up by Winston Churchill when Chancellor of the Exchequer in 1928. The Tote. Winston Churchill, while Chancellor of the Exchequer in 1928, established the Horse Race Totalisator Board, commonly known as the Tote. This state-owned enterprise was created to regulate betting on horse races and channel revenues back into the sport. The elusive and increasingly rare omnivorous bird, Tetrax, nicknamed in French, the farting chicken, is more commonly called the little what? Bustard. Tetrax is the scientific name for the little bustard, an elusive and increasingly rare omnivorous bird. Native to grasslands and steppes across Europe and Asia, it faces significant threats from habitat loss and agricultural intensification, making it a species of conservation concern. Christine Lagarde emerged as a candidate to succeed DSK as head of what organization following his 2011 arrest on rape charges? IMF. Following the resignation of Dominique Strauss-Kahn, DSK, amidst legal charges in 2011, Christine Lagarde was appointed as the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF is a crucial international organization that works to ensure global financial stability, facilitate international trade, and promote sustainable economic growth. What, mainly, is the lava in a conventional lava lamp? Wax. The lava in a conventional lava lamp is primarily composed of a specially formulated wax. This wax is immiscible with the surrounding clear liquid, often water or mineral oil, and has a density very close to it, allowing it to slowly rise and fall as it is heated and cooled by a light bulb at the base of the lamp. A threat to air travel in 2011, Grímsvötn is a Icelandic volcano. Grímsvötn is an active subglacial volcano located under the Vatnajökull ice cap in Iceland, known for its frequent eruptions. Its eruption in May 2011 caused significant disruption to air travel across parts of Europe, highlighting the vulnerability of aviation to volcanic ash clouds and their impact on global logistics. What strongly branded devolutionary initiative, central to the UK Tory party's 2010 general election campaign, was relaunched, again, after 3 previous attempts, in 2011? Big Society. The Big Society was a flagship policy initiative of the UK Conservative Party, central to its 2010 general election campaign. It aimed to empower local communities, encourage social action, and devolve power from the central state to individuals and voluntary organizations. Despite multiple relaunches, its implementation faced significant challenges and mixed results. Manal al-Sharif was arrested in Saudi Arabia in 2011 for posting a protest video of herself doing what, which is effectively banned for women? Driving. Manal al-Sharif is a prominent women's rights activist who gained international attention in 2011 for defying the de facto ban on women driving in Saudi Arabia. Her arrest after posting a video of herself driving sparked global awareness and became a pivotal moment in the campaign for women's driving rights, which was eventually granted in 2018. What 2008 internet startup company did Twitter buy in 2011 that enables customized use of its microblogging service? TweetDeck. TweetDeck was an independent Twitter client acquired by Twitter in 2011. It provided a more advanced interface for managing multiple Twitter accounts, lists, and searches, which was popular among power users and professionals. In the context of financial services mis-selling, what product is abbreviated to PPI? Payment Protection Insurance. Payment Protection Insurance, PPI, was an insurance product sold alongside loans, credit cards, and mortgages, designed to cover repayments in case of illness, unemployment, or death. It became the subject of a major financial scandal due to widespread mis-selling, leading to billions in compensation claims. What world-renowned academy, originated in 1741, relocated to Camberley, Surrey in 1947, has the motto, "Serve to Lead"? Sandhurst. The Royal Military Academy Sandhurst is the British Army's officer initial training centre. Established in 1741 and moved to its current location in 1947, it is renowned globally for its rigorous training and leadership development programs, upholding the motto, "Serve to Lead." When acid rain is caused by power generation plants, normally what acid does it contain? Nitric acid. Acid rain caused by power generation plants primarily contains nitric acid, formed from nitrogen oxides, NOx, released during the combustion of fossil fuels. These nitrogen oxides react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals in the atmosphere to form nitric acid and sulfuric acid, which then fall to earth as acid rain. Female vocalist Omara Pochuondo became famous in what internationally popular Cuban group of musicians? Buena Vista Social Club. Omara Pochuondo is a celebrated Cuban singer, often referred to as the diva of the Buena Vista Social Club. She gained international fame as a prominent member of the Buena Vista Social Club, a group of veteran Cuban musicians whose 1997 album and subsequent documentary brought traditional Cuban music to a worldwide audience. Thingvalla Lake is in which country? Iceland. Thingvalla Lake, also known as Ingvelllavat, is the largest natural lake in Iceland, located within Thingvellir National Park. This park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and holds significant historical importance as the site of Iceland's ancient parliament, the Althing. In 2006, Romania banned sturgeon fishing in which river? Danube. In 2006, Romania imposed a ban on sturgeon fishing in the Danube River to protect critically endangered sturgeon species, such as the beluga sturgeon, from overfishing. The Danube is a vital habitat for these ancient fish, and the ban aimed to allow populations to recover. Who was the world's youngest self-made billionaire as of 2011? Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder of Facebook, achieved the status of the world's youngest self-made billionaire by 2011. His rapid rise to wealth was a direct result of Facebook's unprecedented global growth and its impact on social media and technology. In which Shakespearean play does the character Marcellus utter the line, "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark"? Hamlet. This iconic line is spoken by Marcellus in William Shakespeare's tragedy, Hamlet. It foreshadows the moral decay and corruption that permeates the Danish court following the suspicious death of the king. Campione d'Italia, an Italian exclave, is situated within which European country? Switzerland. Campione d'Italia is a unique Italian municipality that forms an exclave entirely surrounded by Swiss territory in the canton of Ticino. Its geographical status makes it an interesting example of political geography and cross-border relations. What large, dangerous, short-snout crocodilian species, native to India, is commonly known as a mugger? Crocodile. The mugger crocodile, Crocodylus palustris, is a medium-sized freshwater crocodile found across the Indian subcontinent. Known for its broad snout, it is an apex predator in its habitat and an important part of the region's biodiversity. On which part of the body are Russian valenki traditionally worn? Feet. Valenki are traditional Russian felt boots, typically worn on the feet to provide exceptional warmth during harsh winter conditions. These durable and culturally significant boots are crafted from natural wool felt. Norwegian politician Trygve Lie served as the first Secretary General of which international organization? The United Nations. Trygve Lie was a Norwegian statesman who became the first Secretary General of the United Nations, serving from 1946 to 1953. He played a crucial role in the early development and institutionalization of the newly formed international body dedicated to global peace and cooperation. The Royal House of Chakri has ruled which country since 1782, as of 2011? Thailand. The Chakri dynasty has been the reigning royal house of Thailand, formerly Siam, since 1782. This long-standing dynasty has significantly shaped Thailand's history, culture, and political stability over more than 2 centuries. Which campaign was instigated by Sir Reginald Dorman-Smith, former British Minister of Agriculture, during World War II to encourage people to convert land for growing more fruit and vegetables? Dig for Victory. The Dig for Victory campaign was a public initiative launched in Britain during World War II to encourage citizens to cultivate gardens and allotments. This crucial effort aimed to boost domestic food production and reduce reliance on imports amidst wartime shortages. What were cowries, once used as a currency in various parts of the world? Seashells. Cowrie shells were historically used as a form of currency in many parts of Africa, Asia, and Oceania. Their durability, small size, and ease of recognition made them suitable for trade and transactions, predating modern coinage and paper money in many societies. The Persistence of Memory, a painting featuring images of melting pocket watches, is a work by which artist? Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali's The Persistence of Memory is one of the most iconic works of surrealism, created in 1931. The melting clocks in the painting symbolize the fluidity and relativity of time, challenging conventional perceptions of reality. The Republic of the Union of Myanmar is more commonly known by what country name? Burma. The Republic of the Union of Myanmar is widely recognized as Burma. The country officially changed its name from Burma to Myanmar in 1989, reflecting changes in governance and a move towards greater inclusivity of its diverse ethnic groups. Which US state is believed to be named in honor of the British monarch Queen Elizabeth I? Virginia. The U.S. state of Virginia was named in honor of Queen Elizabeth I, often referred to as the Virgin Queen, due as she never married. This naming reflects the historical colonial ties between Britain and North America during the era of exploration and settlement. Castries is the capital city of which Caribbean island nation? Saint Lucia. Castries is the capital and largest city of the eastern Caribbean island nation of Saint Lucia. It serves as the primary port, commercial center, and seat of government for the island. What diet, devised by Frenchman Dr. Pierre Ducan, became internationally popular in the early 2000s? Ducan diet. The Ducan diet is a high-protein, low-carbohydrate weight loss plan developed by French physician Pierre Ducan. It gained significant international popularity in the early 2000s, becoming known for its four-phase approach to weight management and attracting many followers worldwide. According to UNICEF data from 2011, what percentage of Afghan women died during pregnancy or childbirth? 12.5%. This statistic from UNICEF in 2011 highlighted the severe challenges faced by women in Afghanistan regarding maternal health. High maternal mortality rates are often indicators of poor healthcare infrastructure, limited access to medical services, and socioeconomic disparities within a nation. Violetta Chamorro, Michelle Bachelet, Laura Chinchilla, and Dilma Rousseff are notable for sharing what significant achievement? National leadership. These women are prominent figures in Latin American politics, each having served as president or head of state in their respective countries. Violetta Chamorro, Nicaragua, Michelle Bachelet, Chile, Laura Chinchilla, Costa Rica, and Dilma Rousseff, Brazil, represent a significant trend of women assuming high-level national leadership roles in the region. A blue circle with a white center was introduced in 2006 as the international symbol for what human metabolic disease? Diabetes. The blue circle is the universal symbol for diabetes awareness, adopted in 2006 to mark the adoption of the United Nations Resolution on Diabetes, UN Resolution 61-225. It signifies the unity of the global diabetes community in response to the growing diabetes pandemic. What woman's name was given to the horrendously abusive laundry asylums for fallen women, run by the Catholic Church, starting in 18th century Ireland, spreading to other countries and persisting well into the 1900s? Magdalen. The Magdalen laundries were institutions, primarily in Ireland, that operated from the 18th to the late 20th century, ostensibly to house fallen women. They were characterized by widespread physical and psychological abuse, forced labor, and the denial of human rights, with the last one closing in 1996. On a standard piano, what normally is the lowest note? A. On a standard 88-key piano, the lowest note is AO, which is the A below the lowest C. This fundamental pitch determines the instrument's overall range and tonal depth, providing a rich bass foundation. Who is Britain's longest-serving consort? Prince Philip. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, served as the consort to Queen Elizabeth II for over 69 years, from her ascension in 1952 until his death in 2021. This made him the longest-serving royal consort in British history, supporting the monarch through decades of change. What multinational high street vendor's logo was developed from an Old Norse woodcut of a twin-tailed siren or mermaid with flowing hair and crown? Starbucks. The iconic Starbucks logo features a twin-tailed siren, inspired by a 16th-century Norse woodcut. This mythological creature symbolizes the alluring nature of coffee and the brand's connection to seafaring history, reflecting Seattle's port city origins. What modern system of a very old messaging method entails red and yellow, Oscar, at sea, and white and blue, Papa, on land? Flag semaphore. Flag semaphore is a system for conveying information at a distance by means of visual signals with handheld flags or mechanical arms. While Oscar, red and yellow, typically signals man overboard in maritime contexts, and Papa, white and blue, can indicate all personnel return to ship, the on land context for Papa is a less standard application of nautical flag signals. What child play and teaching aid modeling product did William Harbert devise and produce in 1900 in an old flour mill near Bath, UK? Plasticine. Plasticine, a popular non-hardening modeling clay, was invented by William Harbert, an art teacher in Bath, UK, in 1897 and first marketed in 1900. It quickly became a widely used material for art students, children's play, and stop-motion animation due to its malleability and ability to retain its shape. What controlled recreational drug has the chemical formula C20H26N2O? LSD. LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide, is a powerful psychedelic drug synthesized from ergot, a fungus that grows on grains. Its complex chemical formula, C20H26N2O, reflects its intricate molecular structure, which interacts with serotonin receptors in the brain to produce its characteristic hallucinogenic effects. Light travels at its fastest in what medium? Vacuum. Light travels at its maximum speed, approximately 299,792,458 meters per second, in a vacuum. This speed, known as the speed of light, c, is a fundamental physical constant and represents the universal speed limit for all electromagnetic radiation and information in the universe. What is a rectangular series of quantities arranged in rows and columns in mathematics? Matrix. A matrix is a rectangular array of numbers, symbols, or expressions, arranged in rows and columns. Matrices are fundamental in linear algebra and have wide applications in physics, engineering, computer graphics, and economics for representing linear transformations and systems of equations. What word refers to a nickname or assumed name, said to originate from the French expression, tap under chin? Sobriquet. A sobriquet is a descriptive nickname, often given by others, which captures a characteristic of a person or place. The term is believed to derive from a French expression meaning a light tap under the chin, suggesting a playful or informal naming. What mainly microscopic life form takes its name from the Greek word plagiketos, meaning wandering? Plankton. Plankton are diverse groups of organisms living in water, unable to swim against a current. They are crucial to aquatic food webs, serving as a primary food source for many marine animals, and play a significant role in global carbon and oxygen cycles. The nautical term, forecastle, pronounced forecastle, is a common shortening of what word referring to the forward part of a ship where sailors live? Forecastle. The forecastle, often shortened to forecastle, is the forward part of a ship, traditionally located below the main deck. Historically, it served as living quarters for the crew, particularly sailors, and also housed equipment related to anchoring and mooring. What small Scottish border town is famously associated with marriages of English runaway couples? Gretna Green. Gretna Green is a village in Scotland, historically famous as a destination for runaway marriages from England. Due to differing marriage laws, English couples under the age of 21 could marry without parental consent in Scotland from 1754, making Gretna Green a popular elopement spot. The terms Teutonic and Teutons refer mostly and typically to what ancient race of people? Germanic. The terms Teutonic and Teutons primarily refer to Germanic peoples, an ethno-linguistic group native to Northern Europe. Historically, they were a significant group of tribes mentioned by Roman writers, playing a crucial role in the shaping of European history and languages. From the Greek words for empty tomb, what sort of monument exists in many cities to commemorate lives lost, especially in the First and Second World Wars? Cenotaph. A cenotaph is an honorary tomb or monument erected to the memory of a person or group of persons whose remains are elsewhere. Derived from Greek words meaning empty tomb, cenotaphs frequently serve as powerful public memorials, particularly for soldiers lost in major conflicts like the World Wars. What is hemostasis or hemostasis in relation to blood flow? Stoppage. Hemostasis or hemostasis is the physiological process that stops bleeding at the site of an injured blood vessel. It involves a complex interplay of vascular spasm, platelet plug formation, and blood coagulation to maintain circulatory integrity. What is the fastest animal alive? Peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon, Falco peregrinus, is renowned as the fastest animal on Earth, capable of reaching speeds over 320 km per hour, 200 miles per hour, during its hunting dive, known as a stoop. This incredible speed is enabled by its streamlined body and powerful wings, allowing it to catch birds in mid-flight. The word harem, referring to a woman's part of a dwelling, and especially to its female occupants, originated in which ethnic group? Muslim. The term harem comes from Arabic and refers to a segregated private space for women in a Muslim household. It signifies sanctity and protection, embodying specific social and cultural norms historically prevalent in various Islamic societies. In pathology, what is the common term for a displacement and protrusion of part of an organ through its cavity wall? Hernia. A hernia is a medical condition characterized by the protrusion of an organ or fatty tissue through a weak spot in the surrounding muscle or connective tissue. Common types include inguinal, umbilical, and hiatal hernias, often requiring surgical intervention. A limited company, e.g., in the UK, Limited, US, LLC, Germany, GmbH, has limited what? Liabilities. A limited company, such as Limited or LLC, is a business structure where the liability of its members or shareholders is limited to the amount they have invested or guaranteed. This legal protection means personal assets of owners are generally shielded from business debts and legal claims. Sinhalese, or Sinhalese, is the language and people originating in North India now largely populating which country? Sri Lanka. The Sinhalese are an Indo-Aryan ethnic group native to Sri Lanka, forming the largest ethnic group in the country. Their language, Sinhala, is one of Sri Lanka's official languages, and they are predominantly Theravada Buddhists. Abbreviated to PI, what is the ancient Eurasian reconstructed language and origin of wide-ranging modern languages including English, Spanish, Russian, Greek, Urdu, and Farsi? Proto-Indo-European. Proto-Indo-European, PI, is the hypothesized ancestral language from which the Indo-European family of languages, including most European and many South Asian languages, are thought to have descended. While no written records of PI exist, linguists have reconstructed it through comparative methods, studying common features across its descendant languages. The U.S. Military Special Operations SEALs Force is an acronym derived from what three basic words? Sea, Air, Land. SEAL is an acronym for sea, air, and land, referring to the primary operational environments of the United States Navy's principal Special Operations Force, the Navy SEALs. These elite units are trained for a wide range of specialized missions, including direct action, special reconnaissance, and counterterrorism operations. For what ethnic group are Mishnah and Gemara the two main parts of Talmud law? Jews. The Talmud is a central text of Rabbinic Judaism, compiling Jewish law, ethics, philosophy, customs, and history. It consists of two main components, the Mishnah, a written compilation of oral Torah, and the Gemara, a rabbinic commentary and analysis of the Mishnah. The organic chemical compound C12H22O11 is better known as what additive? Sugar. C12H22O11 is the chemical formula for sucrose, commonly known as table sugar. It is a disaccharide composed of one glucose molecule and one fructose molecule, widely used as a sweetener in food and beverages. Name the Trinidad and Tobago cabinet minister who resigned as vice president of FIFA in 2011 amid ongoing ethics investigations. Jack Warner. Jack Warner, a former Trinidad and Tobago government minister, resigned from his positions as FIFA vice president and CONCACAF president in 2011 amidst allegations of bribery and corruption. His resignation came during a period of intense scrutiny over ethical breaches within the international football governing body.